What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week, another episode of Mindset Monday. If you are here, you're someone that's committed to creating positive waves of change for yourself, your environment, and this amazing world that we're in, and that makes you a wave maker. So welcome home. And tonight we have a very special call. We're going to be speaking about finding your strength, okay, which is such an important topic. And we're going to have three speakers tonight. And we're going to start off with my brother, Michael Batanti. This is my running partner. This is someone who's been in my life for a long time, who always calls me out and shows me tough love. So appreciate you, my brother. Michael, are you with us?
I am, Bud. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Take it away.
Awesome. Beautiful. What's going on, guys? I'm not going to take too much of your time, but my goal here is to just create some perspective for you, right? I'm going to teach you a couple things that I've been able to do in my own life, and it has allowed me to focus, right? As Nick said, our call is finding your strengths. And I think that sometimes we put down a list of the things that we want to improve, right? And we completely forget about the things that we're already doing right. And we get so sidetracked trying to improve on the things that we're not doing right that we forget to maximize on the things that we are doing right and the things that can benefit us. So I want to show you a little diagram, right? And it's been able to help me. If you've heard me speak before, you have heard me talk about Warren Buffett, right? And he talks about successful people don't chase the top 25 things that they want to accomplish in their life, right? He said most people get it wrong because they put down a list of 25 things that they want to do with their life and they start chasing all of them at the same time, right? They start spreading themselves too thin. So what I encourage you to do, what Warren Buffett encourages you to do, is make a list of your top 25 things and then highlight the top 5. And instead of giving 80% of your efforts to the top 5 and 20% of your effort to the other 20, he asks you to give 100% of your effort to the top 5 things that you're trying to accomplish, right? And I bring that up because you can literally do the same exact thing with your strengths. And it really puts life into a whole different perspective. So let me show you something. I'm going to share my screen. I'm actually just going to turn my camera around. Nikki T, can you guys see this? Okay, so check this out, and this is how I've done it, right? This is the most important thing in my life. I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself. This is the most important thing in my life. And everything I do, I want to stem off of the most important thing in my life, right? And so what did I do? I chose 5 things in my life that have the most significance. They bring me the most fulfillment. They bring me the most joy, right? I have my music. It's something that changed my life. It's something that calms me down. It's something that helps me balance everything that's going on in my world. I have my business. It's something that provides financial resources for me to continue living the life that I want to live and to take care of myself and my family and others, right? My mindset is one of the most important things in my life, right? I'm one of those people who has really drank the Kool-Aid on if you can control your mind, you can control everything in your life, right? I have others, my relationships, the people that I encounter on a daily basis. I've lived life as a lone wolf and it's very lonely. I don't want to do that anymore. I want other people. I want healthy relationships, right? And then I have my ministry and my walk, right? And it stems off of this, and it is one of the most important things for me in regards to what I'm doing with my time, right? And if you can draw that diagram for yourself, you can begin to put, all right, what is necessary, right? For my relationship with others, I need to be helping. I need to be focused on helping, filling a void in other people's lives. I need to be listening, right? I need to be fostering the healthy relationships. If my encounters with other people are not healthy, I need to be able to walk away from those relationships and pursue the ones that are bringing me joy and fulfillment, right? I need to empower others, right? If I go up here and I'm talking about my ministry, it's very simple. I need to know Jesus so that I can bring people to Jesus, right? And that's what I'm doing with my time. Over here with my music, I need to get much better at the guitar. I need to work on the vocals. I need to be writing more. I need to be learning how to share and record my music on a whole nother level, right? Down here with my business, I need to be focusing on impact, investments, money management, inspiring others, and being a trailblazer. These are what's important to me. What you'll find when you're building this chart is you start to get creative. With my mindset, it's all about personal development. Part of my personal development involves reflection and feedback, getting feedback from people who love me and want to see me win and give me constructive criticism, right? And taking it to new levels, right? And here's why I talk about all of this, and here's why I demonstrate that chart for you guys, is because if you can see it on paper, it becomes much more manageable, right? And here's what I encourage you to do is choose the top 5, discuss with yourself what it's going to take, and then something amazing happens. This beautiful shift of I'm no longer thinking about what I have to do. I'm now thinking about how and why I'm doing it, right? And my focus shifts. Sometimes we're so caught up on the tedious tasks that you're forgetting the big picture. And if you can focus on the big picture, the analogy that I would use is if I'm trying to grow my music, I need to focus on watering that plant. And then I'm not focused on the product. I'm not focused on the music getting better. I'm focused on a daily basis watering that plant, right? Do you see where I'm going? Is that your mindset shifts because you put it down on paper. You can begin to take a look at what is it gonna take, not what do I need to do. Write that down. It's not about what I need to do. It's about what is it gonna take, right? And then I can begin to draw those 5 things down, right? For me, when I take a look at my life and I see I want to be a servant of God, I want to develop my relationship with others, I want to focus on my mindset, my ministry, my music, and my business, right? 5 major things come to mind in my headspace, and I wrote those 5 things down, right? It says time management and schedule. It says personal growth. It says effort and evaluation. It says discipline and commitment. And it says why. So this chart it's aimed at just bringing you to an omniscient, observant mindset on your own life and the things that you're trying to do, right? And it gets you focused on some core principles that are going to aid all 5 things. Guess what? If I'm focused on my time management, if that's where I place my focus on my time management and my schedule, all 5 of these things have a home. And I'm not focused on them individually. I'm just focused on them inside of the schedule, right? If I'm focused on my discipline and my commitment, guess what? All 5 of these things get touched every single week. Every single week, I place energy into all 5 of these things. Why? Because I'm focused on my commitment. I'm not focused on the fact that I need to get better at the guitar. I'm focused on the fact that my music is a part of my big 5, right? And I'm disciplined and organized towards tackling my big 5, right? So that's my question to you is spend some time. It took me years to figure out what matters to me. How many people drop some 2s in a line? If you ever find yourself giving an astronomical amount of energy to something, and then later on in your life, you're like, wow, that just really didn't matter. It just didn't matter, right? And so be patient with yourself, but be precise. These are the things to me that absolutely matter. I wrote a list of 25 things that matter. And these were the 5 things that I highlighted. My ministry, others, mindset, business, and music. Those are the things that matter to me. right? And then I encourage you to go deeper. All right, what is it going to take to be successful in these 5 categories? All right, now that I have those 5 things and I have what it's going to take to be successful in those 5 things, what are the 5 fundamental principles for me that are going to help me elevate in all 5 of these areas? And that becomes the water. That becomes the nutrients for your growth. That becomes where you need to place your focus, right? Precision, steps, daily. Sometimes when we're just looking at one category and the things that we need to accomplish in that category, we get overwhelmed, right? You're focused on the million things that you have to do for your business, and you're overwhelmed instead of focusing on your schedule, and your schedule dialing in your business, and your schedule dialing in the other categories of your life, right? You have completely forgot about why you love your big 5. And so it's incorporated into my fundamentals. And now I'm not looking at the what. I'm not even looking at the how. I'm looking at the why. And I'm looking at the discipline. And I'm looking at the effort on a daily basis. I'm looking at the organizational structure of my schedule. And when I focus in on those things, I find that, one, everything gets touched on a weekly basis, right? I set aside time for all of it, right? And because I'm doing all of it, I'm more fulfilled. And because I took the time to organize it, I feel like I know myself. I feel like I got it locked in. All right, Mike, it's simple. You're 28, going on 29. And these are the things that we're going to do with our life. We're going to build big business. We're going to create awesome music. We're going to focus on growing ministry and walking in my ministry. I'm going to dial in my ability to communicate and relate and love other people. And I'm going to consistently maintain a healthy mindset that's going to carry me for the rest of my life. And guess what happens when you figure that out? It's easy to stay true to yourself, to stay true to yourself. It's easy to say no to things that don't serve your big 5, right? It's easy to walk your path. It's not stressful anymore, right? And so that's what I encourage you to do is, one, take the time to identify what are your big 5. What are the 5 things in your life that you really, really want to foster and go after? What are your 5 favorite plants that you want to make sure get watered every day and continue to grow, right? What are the things that are involved? And then what are the 5 things that I could be doing to really water those separate categories, right? It's a step for organization, but it's deeper than that. It's something that puts on paper who you are as a person and what you're fighting for, right? Some of the people who have been following me, I really talk about the fact that 80% of getting where you want to be is knowing where you want to be. And stuff like this, the ability to think on paper and become very, very clear about what you're after, it is that step towards identifying where I want to be, right? And then I'm flexible with it, and I'm patient with the process, and I'm disciplined. And every single day I'm taking baby steps, small, consistent steps daily, produce results, right? And so that's what I want for you guys, is to take the time, draw the chart, identify 5 things that, like, you, if you get to the end of your road and you haven't developed these 5 things, like, you're going to be really upset with yourself, right? And then even more so, once you find those things, what's it going to take? Not what do I have to do? What's it going to take? Right? And that is where I personally have found all the answers to all of my questions. It's not in the what. It's not in what I actually have to do. It's what's it going to take from me to accomplish these things. right? I turn that finger right around and I point at myself and I look at myself in the mirror and I say, Michael, what do we have to do to accomplish these things? And I'm constantly reminding myself why I have to do these things, right? And things begin to change. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Drop a 1 if you gained value. If one person gained value, I did my job. Boom. Chelsea, I did my job. Nikki T, I'm out. Much love.
Man, so powerful, guys. Look at all those ones coming in. And the beautiful thing is we get to take, value and we get to take this information. And it's definitely something I've done many, many times where I want you guys to write this one quote down that comes from Tony Robbins, okay? He says, complexity is the enemy of execution. I'll say it again. Complexity is the enemy of execution. And so what Mike just shared with there is so valuable on discovering the strengths in your life is being able to, put what is your world look like right now on paper, right? If you can put it on paper and then minimize it, right? Get it niched. Some of you may have, one of those limbs may be your health and different things may be going down within there or whatever it may be, public speaking, different things within there. So Mike, that is so extremely valuable on, just getting clear on where you want to go, because then you can begin to execute on the things in your life. And so I encourage everyone to do that as well. And, the thing is who we are and what we want out of life is an active organism. It's going to be constantly changing and growing. And the thing is Jim Rohn says, any goals list that you write or anything that you write about yourself, keep it. Because then you get to see how well you've evolved over time, the things that you have crossed off, the things that you are no longer important to you anymore. And so with that, on the topic of strengths, guys, what I want to touch on is with an extension of what Mike shared with us is once we get clear on those categories, right? Those, whatever category it is for you, then we get to take, if any of you guys have took any business class in school or anything, we get to take a look at our life in this aspect. It's called a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? We get to look at now all of those 5 categories that Mike, gave us education on. It's like, hey, we get to then look at what are the strengths in those different areas that we are good at. So say, let's take business category, right? What are the strengths of Eric Brown? The strengths of Eric Brown are to, be the organized one. I'm not necessarily the one to initiate different things, but I am definitely more of the administrative side of things, where then to me, strengths are what value do you bring to the world, right? Value is the conversation. And so if you can determine your strengths, then in each of those different categories, you can know what value you can bring to yourself and to others. And then what are the opportunities? What are the weaknesses that you can fill with other people? For example, in my category, I have one that's faith, right? I know I'm not the strongest within my faith. However, I know the will for me to go learn it myself. And then I put in people in place that I know have a strong standpoint on their faith and theology, which is Gabe, Nick, Louisa, Mike, all these people. I know they are strong in those areas where then I can leverage and put weight towards them. Does that make sense? Drop some ones in the chat if you guys are following along with that. Is you then start to build a dream team of people around you that you understand the value that you can bring to the world and into the marketplace, to your friend group, to your family, whatever it may be. And then you can understand, hey, these are some areas that I can also grow in, these opportunities of growth. And then threats are, hey, if I don't grow, maybe I'm not going to be successful in business. If I don't do the personal development and work on my mindset, maybe I'm not going to be strong in those areas. And so with something I want to share with you guys on how a lot of the time when we write a SWOT analysis about our own personal self, right? What is Eric good at? You can sit there on a blank piece of paper and look at it for so long and be like, what am I really good at? The great way to do that is go find 3 of your closest friends or family members near you and ask them, what would you say the top 2 good things that I'm good at in my life? My parents for sure would say that I'm always there to help for people. I'm there to serve, and it doesn't matter, unconditional love. I'm there to help. I'm a helper, right? I'm a giver. Some other people, Nick and Mike, would for sure say, hey, you're the organized one. You're the one that brought the puzzle together of the whole thing that, Now we have some organization to it. They're both nodding their head. You know what I mean? You can go find those people, and you got to be very respectful with the people that you're reaching out to. It's not like, hey, someone you just know a little bit. They're going to tell you what they love about you. And a lot of the good thing is, it's a great conversation to have, because it's a very positive thing, because then they're telling you what they also love about themselves. And so I encourage you to go after this call, go message 3 people. Hey, what do you think my strength is? And then go figure that out. And then you have the discernment for yourself. Does that relate with or resonate with you, or does it not? And so that's in the example I'll give to you as well. On you can also look at other things in your life and use that as a blueprint to discover, you're amazing at holding people accountable. Thank you, Luisa. Absolutely. I love when people hold me accountable. So why not hold other people accountable first? But another thing is look at have a time of reflection. Maybe sit and meditate and pray with yourself and say, look at yourself. What are some areas of my life that I thoroughly enjoyed and I was good at, right? For me, if I'm thinking right now, the first thing that comes to mind was sports, right? I was a great basketball player and I was the point guard of the team. And so being able to do that, you have to be the one that is knowing all the plays, running the plays, keeping the other teammates' heads up, right? You're the one that, is facilitating all the plays. You have to be a good leader, right? And so, hey, I know that I've been a good leader in basketball. That's going to translate into other parts of my life. And so with that, I encourage you to look at other areas. I know we have yoga teachers on here. We have, other digital marketers. We have network marketers. We have people of all sorts of backgrounds here. We have people who are great at creating content in videos with Chelsea and all these different people. Find what you're good at and what is the underlying human skill that is there that you are strong at. It's not the video making skills, right? It's you having the hunger within yourself. It's to go make it win. You to be the internal leader. You to be the internal motivator, right? You guys see where I'm going with that? Is find the strengths within where you are, and it'll take you a whole long way. And then find the people who fill in the weaknesses around you, where I filled in my brothers and my sisters around me to lift me up in the areas I'm not so strong in. So, Nick, I know I was supposed to go 7 minutes, bro, but that was 10 minutes. There you go. Take it away, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. I'm glad that you joined us tonight. And thank you, Mike, as well. Fantastic job already, guys. We could end it right here. Drop a 3 in the chat if you gained some value already, right? We're not just here to motivate you. We're here to bring some value so that you can hopefully on your own spend some time and apply it, right? That's the goal here. Applied knowledge is power. So great stuff. And you guys touched on a lot of the points that I wanted to bring here. And I'm just going to really point out a few things. And then we're going to end it here in the next few minutes, guys. Number 1, okay, as we are in the topic of finding our strengths, either you already know the strengths that you have in your life, or you're in the process of finding out strengths that you're still looking for, right? And I even want to point out that to those of us that feel like you've already found a lot of your main core strengths that you have, I just want to let you know, I believe that God has skills and strengths for you that you're not yet aware of. So let's keep looking. Let's keep digging, right? Let's keep going and seeking these strengths that we can go and bless other people. And that's ultimately the goal. So here's the first point that I want to bring up. As you're going to experience and working towards finding your strengths, you will fail. Okay? So I think that, it just kind of intertwines this topic of failure because let's think about the 4 levels of learning, right? First, we are unconsciously incompetent. The first time that you try to tie your shoes, you didn't even know that you didn't know how to tie your shoes. Okay? Then we learn how to tie the shoes. So we're consciously incompetent, or we know that we don't know. So you become aware that you don't know how to tie your shoes. So you're consciously incompetent, right? Then you do it enough and you become consciously competent. You know that you know, but you have to consciously think about it. And then as you do it more and more and more, you become unconsciously competent. You don't even have to think about it. So I just want to ask you right now, the strengths that you have, think of one strength that you have in your life right now. Like Eric said, and like Mike said, maybe you're great with music. Maybe you're great with people. You're great at speaking. You're great at a specific sport. You know, and there's a million strengths out there, right? But think of that one. Were you born with that strength? Like, did you come up out of the womb and you just did that? No, right? It took some work. And I think it's important for us to keep that in mind, because I think we a lot of times mix up natural abilities with strengths. You can have natural abilities. However, for that natural ability to become a strength, it's going to take work. And one way that this is the second point that I want to bring to you guys. One way that you're going to maybe find out strengths that you have in your life is, what is it that you see in others that inspires you to want to build it in your own life? Okay. What do you see in others that inspires you? So for example, 9 years ago, I was inspired when I saw someone speaking on stage, and I was watching videos, and I was inspired by people that were doing business in a great manner. They were impacting people's lives with their voices. But at the time, I wasn't a speaker. So now a lot of people know me as someone that speaks well, right? As an example. However, what most people don't know is that 13 years ago, I didn't speak English at all. Then, so I was laughed at in school because I didn't speak English. Okay. Fast forward a few years, I was inspired and I saw what was possible in other people. So a dream inside of me, a dream was born. And that dream was to be able to speak on stage. And I began to work within myself and run towards that dream. And I began to find strength in that dream. Now, let me tell you something else. The first time that I spoke in front of like 12 people, okay, I was sweating. I was nervous. I was shaking. I couldn't get my words out. I made no sense. I don't even know what I said, as a matter of fact. It was just a blur. So did I have the strength from the get-go? No. So here's the point, and write this down. The illusion of failure. The illusion of failure. Failure is going to tell you you're not good at something. Forget about it. That's not your strength. That's your weakness, buddy. Forget about it. And that's the lower self, right? There you go. Strength is a muscle for sure. So it is going to take time, right? So the question is, what inspires you? What inspires you? Spend some time on that one. So the next point that I have is on when you do know what inspires you. There you go. When you do know what inspires you, you're going to have to make a jump. You got to make a jump. You got to try it out. That is the only way you're going to find that chart that Mike talked about. That is the only way that you're going to find your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to jump. There you go. Gabe has it. You got to make the jump. And that is the only way that you will find out whether whatever it is that you're working towards is for you or not, right? When I began to learn that I had some desires to be working with people, inspiring people, I began to work in sales and I failed. I began to speak in front of people and I failed. But because of that inspiration, I kept going. So the only way that you will find out your strengths, or better yet, you'll find out new strengths, is by you doing new things. You have to try them out. You have to give it a real shot. And if you have a true inspiration, you keep going regardless of the adversities and trials that you will face in that process, right? So as I end here, a question that I have for you that will help you figure out, the areas in your chart is this. What brings you real fulfillment in life? What are you passionate about? Finding that fulfillment is going to lead you towards the main areas of the chart that you can focus on, okay? And the last point that I have is this, which Eric already brought it up. So we're reading each other's minds there and having harmony and this is the biggest one. If you haven't paid attention to anything I said, write this one down, okay? Focus on your strengths and then build a team around that. That is the way to win. Most people want to be a jack of all trades. They want to get good at everything. Guess what? You won't. So you're gonna be spreading your energy in all angles, and you want to master everything. Guess what? You won't do it. Find several areas in your lives that you want to pour your energy in, but then find what is the one gift, God-given gift in the area that you are inspired and passionate about that you can focus on, and do that. Stay in your lane. Exactly, Eric. And then from there, become really good at what you do. And from that place, you're able to find other people that are in the same position. Okay. Now, if you want a great team around you, become a great team player and become someone that, like Eric said, brings value to the table. So hold on to that dream and that vision and that inspiration that you have for a strength that you want to build in your life, and go for it and invest your time into that and become someone that others can recognize as great at what you do. And from that point on, you will attract the right people and the right teammates into your life. Okay. So that's what I got. I know we could keep it going, but I'm super grateful. I'm excited to invest some more time into building my chart and honing in on my strengths even more. Eric, do you want to say something, my brother?
I want to add one last thing to your dream team, right? You cannot find the other pieces of your dream team if you first do not figure out what you are good at and what piece of the puzzle you are going to fit yourself. I remember writing on my vision board and my goals list all the types of people. I wanted to have the content creator type people, all the business leaders, the different types of people that were going to be a part of my dream team. So write who are a part of your dream team and what slot are you going to fill, and then let God take care of, because once you get clear on figuring out what is needed to be there, then God will fill the different places and fill those. Once I understood that, hey, I needed to have a good team of faith people around me, look what God did to me. He put me around an immense amount of people in that standpoint. So you got to get clear for God to be able to do what he needs to do.
Amen, my brother. Spot on. Spot on. Well, fantastic. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. For those of you that are live right now, we're going to stay for another 10, 15 minutes, and we're going to mastermind. Okay. And for those of you watching the recording, thank you for joining us. We hope that you took value, and hope that you go and invest time into these things and work in your life, because it will pay off. Invest time in you. You are the greatest investment that you could have. Okay. So thank you guys. God bless you. Have a great day.